Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our pre-match press conference to preview our game against Tottenham, and we'll start off with Vinny at Sky.
Sean, obviously the European Super League is back in the news today. What do you make of the concept and the proposal now for it to obviously contain promotion and relegation between divisions as well?
Well, I think the bigger picture was the last time this came around was made clear by the fans. You know, forget about what I think. I think fans, certainly many fan groups at clubs who were mentioned, were quite clear in their thoughts, and that was that it was something they didn't want. The change in the laws maybe something that opens up something for the future, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Obviously, the laws in this country, government legislation effectively bans Premier League teams from joining. Do you think that maybe that should change, at least open it up to English clubs, or should it not be the case?
I don't know. I mean, you go into the world of legalities, and I'm certainly not au fait with that world. So we'll have to wait and see. But I just think more on the football side of things, with the way that fans, openly spoke out against it last time, then that's something that would have to be considered again, I would imagine, by anyone forgetting about the legalities. I think by all clubs, if the clubs wanted to go down that route.
Squad-wise, Decore, Coleman, Mikolenko and Ashley Young, how likely are you to have any of them back?
Mikolenko, back in the thinking. The other three, touch and go with Seamus, because of the involvement side of things, where he needs a few more days training. Young is making progress, but I don't think he'll make this one. And Duke, not for this one.
When are you looking at for Duke? Will he be back for
We'll see. I mean, he's making good progress. I think I mentioned in the week he's a good healer, from what I gather from his past here. So we're hoping it settles quickly, as it is doing.
Just when you're seeing the squad stretch with unavailability at times, is there any scope to add to the squad in January, or does the financial situation, the ongoing situation with the takeover as well, does that make it almost impossible to bring anyone in this January?
Yeah, we don't know at this current time. Then we'll be sitting tight and seeing, what can be done. Squad-wise, I think when everyone's fit, I've spoken, I think, very honestly, I think we've got a good squad. I think it's a balanced squad. The depth of it is in question because of injuries and because of the game schedule. I'll say it right. It is a very, thick set of games over December, the amount of and the turnarounds. So that has affected us, unfortunately. But yeah, regarding the finance, we'll have to wait and see.
Given it's 4 wins on the bounce, I take it the cup exit doesn't cast too much of a shadow over your recent form, does it?
No, I don't think so at all. I mean, the stats and facts of the game, we played very well. Looked at the stats, particularly of the physical outputs were very high again. So I'm pleased with that. A lot of the details in general were very good, apart from the moments of truth where we need to score a goal. And so, a lot of good signs from our performance.
And Amadou's obviously taken criticism because of the style penalty that he decided to take the other night. How do you react to that criticism, and what approach do you take with Amadou, who's obviously disappointed at not being able to fire through to the net?
Yeah, of course. Everyone has a style of taking penalties. I must say, he's delivered it very, very well when we were doing all the practice ideas of taking penalties. Everyone has a style. Every player's got to be brave enough to get up there and take one. If you're brave enough to get up there and take one, you have to be brave enough for the consequences. That's just part of being a penalty taker, whether it's in games or whether it's a shootout. Just only adds to the feeling of it, particularly the shootout idea, of course.
Is there anything you do with him, though, to make sure it doesn't have too much of a negative impact? Do you have to put an arm around him? Do you have to speak to him?
No, I don't think so. It's part of, when you're maturing as a footballer, these ups and downs, they're all part of it. Big players have had moments in their careers when they haven't gone well for them. So that's part of his maturation into being a more rounded professional. Of course, we're disappointed, and he was as well on the night. But, it's gone now, and it's about learning for the future. And that's what he is doing. He's learning.
Another goal at Goodison for Betto as well. He says he's been working on his fitness. The running game, the distance he has to run through a game has obviously been an adjustment that he's had to make. What have you been doing with him, Sean, just to make sure that he's got that little bit extra fitness about him? Has he been doing extra
stats,
sessions?
Facts, the Premier League, showing him analysis, showing about when he first came in, showing about where he is now. Not over-egging it, but showing him enough where we think he can absorb it. And him getting used to the English game, of course, and even through training. We put a high demand on training here, and I think he's had to adapt to that. I did speak very openly when he got here and said he would have to adapt to that, and I think the signs are getting stronger.
He seems to have the right attitude as well. Is that what you've seen from him?
Never in question. He's a great lad. He's really thirsty to learn. He wants to improve. So no, that's certainly not in question. It's his game knowledge, his game understanding, sharpening up to Premier League pace and the likes.
You've won all 3 away games in London. How do you compare Spurs to what you've faced in the capital so far this season?
Well, they're going very well. I know they had a recent blip but they've shown that is a blip. Super powered start to the season. I don't know the manager, but I like what I've heard and the way he's speaking very honestly about it. It doesn't seem to me that everyone's talking about the way he plays. He doesn't seem to be talking about it much, and he recently said he wants to win. So I think he's a straightforward guy, and he's delivering good performances, or him and his team are delivering good performances. They're certainly, I think they've made it clear they're a good outfit. That's without doubt.
Do you think Ange Postecoglou's style has added something to the Premier League as well?
Well, like I say, he doesn't seem to be talking it up much. I think a lot of people are around him are, but he seems to be just getting on with trying to win games. So I'm not sure. I don't know, to be honest. If I get 10 minutes with him, that would be great, because he's someone I don't know. But it doesn't seem to me. He seems like he's quite honest in his thoughts, quite believing in the way he wants to go about it. But I think all managers are. But he said recently about playing well, but they weren't winning, and then had a tough spell. And he said it's about winning. He said doesn't want to be known for how he plays. He wants to be known to win. And I think I'm refreshed by that attitude. That's for sure. And that seems my type of guy. But I don't know. We'll see. Maybe crack one open. Maybe crack a cold one open. Just drop that in.
Yeah. But finally, for me, obviously, in terms of the confidence, particularly on the road this season, I mean, it's as high as it could possibly be.
Yeah, really good. A lot of noise about many things we've discussed many times, but certainly about the away form when I got here. We've not so much us, by the way, we've collectively, because the players have to go out there and deliver, I think the mentality to it has improved significantly. And I know I use that word a lot, but it has on all levels of the club, and certainly on the playing department and the way the players are going about the staff as well. And I think the freedom that comes with that, if you're playing well and you're getting results, of course there becomes that little bit of freedom, the shoulders back attitude to go and take games on. No matter what you think on a piece of paper, the whistle blows and you have to get on with it. And I think we've done a lot of collective work, and that mentality, that home and away mentality, and trying to find different ways of operating away from home. Of course, there's some very, very good football teams in the Premier League, and there are stats and facts suggest some games are often harder. I think Tottenham is one. I think they're a very good outfit, particularly at their place. On the other hand, we're going very well, and our stats and facts are very strong.
Thanks,
Sean, what's your assessment of Tottenham when you look back over the tapes and the games they've played? Because at the start of the season, they had plaudits for their attacking style equally. At times, that drew a bit of criticism as well.
I don't think so much criticism. I think it came after a flying start and then had a tough spell, but that can happen in a team with injuries as well, and remodelling and players coming in and out. That can happen. They certainly haven't gone away from what the manager believes in and what the team have come to believe in. But I think overall, they're very, very strong outfit. They've had injuries, but they've kind of come through that spell, and they look like they're in good form. But we're in good form, so it makes for a healthy mixture for a game. It doesn't always pan out like that, but we're certainly going down there with the right attitude to go and take the game on.
And on that note, what is your approach going to be? Because we've seen even when they've had the odd game and they're reduced to 10 men, it's still, as you say, very positive from them.
Well, we've been trying to make the games as much as we can about us. It's not easy, home or away, but give our feel of what we want to do. And I think we intend on doing that. It's just not easy. You play against good footballing sides. Like I say, these are one. They play very openly. They play with a lot of fluid movement, moving players out of position into other positions and trying to rebalance as they do so. And they've proved to be very successful so far this season. But like I say, we've proved a different kind of success in the sense of changing the away, the perception of the away form of this team, and the physical output, the actual results have improved. So we've got to remind ourselves and the players of that. And like I said, we go with the attitude in every game to go and win. And that's got to be the attitude for this team.
Obviously, with an improvement in results, you expect confidence to rise, and that's been shown, I think, in recent weeks. But it struck me, speaking to Betto earlier, it was the mentality, his approach to the Christmas period, when he talks about the opposition being tough to beat. But he said, look, we're tough to beat as well, and I trust my teammates, and trust in the club. That movement, or apparent movement in mentality, is that one of the biggest changes you've seen in recent weeks?
I don't think it's recent weeks, to be fair. I think the job of getting through the season last season has built more strength. I think we reflected on it as a group and decided we need to do better than that. I think everyone, me included, we worked very hard during pre-season, as you know, and I mention it again. Early season, I thought we were playing well, really well. We just couldn't score goals. We've changed that round. We're keeping clean sheets. We look stronger on the defensive side, although I thought we were pretty decent anyway. but results change the perception, you know, and that's the difference, and it also adds to the belief of the group. But there's been so much work that has been done, but there's still more work to do. You know, the 10 points thing is maybe flexible, but we don't know. So therefore, we've got to look at it, what it is and get on with it. And that's been the most pleasing thing about that mentality is I can speak about building a mentality, but when the 10 points happen and then the players go, right, okay, and we park it quickly and move on, that's a sign. That's a sign. It's not just talking about it then, they're actually taking it on. And that's very pleasing for me as a manager.
Best of luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks, Richard. We'll go to James at Reading, Merseyside.
Sean, as you've just been saying, the team have had to show their resilience after the 10-point deduction. But going back to Wednesday, are you worried about a hangover at all, and how do you guard against
No,
it?
different competition, different feel. The performance was very good. I've highlighted that to the players. The physical side of it, we look very strong, despite the players playing a number of games, or most of them, not all of them. So no, there shouldn't be any hangover at all. I think they're clear-minded. They come in today at a lower day, obviously, and we come in tomorrow getting ready to work to go to Tottenham.
And you're in the thick of, I think it's 6 games in 20 days. So with the injury situation as well, how do you manage their workload to make sure that they're in prime condition for the game?
Yeah, I mean that's always the awkward bit. The thing with injuries, it gives someone else a chance. You know, you saw Jarrod Branthwaite move to a different position. I thought he did so with aplomb. Don't think he'd even questioned it. You know, other options, other chances for other people. I think Jimmy played superbly well again the other night. You know, so with injuries comes opportunities. You know, of how to shuffle the squad and other players who are playing. Ben did very well, and lucky not to play. Keno's played very well. You know, these are opportunities for players to keep playing. So, as much as we are a bit stretched, it gives other opportunities to players, more fitness for them players, so that the squad eventually, when it gets back to full fitness, is fitter as a group, and that can only serve us well going into the next tranche of games and then into the rest of the season.
And you've said the transfer situation is a bit of a wait-and-see policy, but hypothetically, the form of late, does that put you in a better position to try and get the targets that you'd like to in an ideal world?
The best position you can ever be in to get targets is having money. We talk about it all we want. Everyone's got targets. Everyone's doing their homework, trust me. I've been doing this a long time. Every club has got departments doing all kinds of analysis on players. At some point, you need money.
And how does, or can a football manager stroke player celebrate Christmas after being in the game for so long yourself? Is it
day off this year?
How do you celebrate?
Day off this year, just 'cause the way the fixtures have come around. I had a day off last year for different reasons. Enjoyed that as well. So yeah, this year there is a day off for the players, which is good for all. Thank you.
Thanks, James. We'll go to Phil at the Press Association.
Yes, sir. Hi, Sean.
Hi.
Just in terms of Arnold Danjuma, I was going to ask. He's maybe played a bit less than some people might have expected, and there was a report this week that possibly Villarreal could be looking at thinking about calling him back in January. What were your thoughts on his sort of situation in general at the moment?
Yeah, he continues to train well. He continues to be part of the group. We want him to do so. He came on the other night, and I thought he delivered. You know, he's got to wait his turn. I think the wide players have been very good. Or the main wide players in the sense of Dwight and Jack. I think their form's been very good. The balance of the side looks right. So, you know, you have to keep working hard and wait for your opportunities to come.
Okay, cheers.
Thanks.
Any further questions in the open section before we move on? No? Okay.
Thank you.
Cheers, Sean.
Happy Christmas, everyone.